Hey guys, welcome to Get Busy Watching. I'm your host, Honest Dan. Let's talk movies. Doing a rapid fire this week, so let's hit it. First on the list, Rogue. A group of mercenaries find themselves fighting for their lives after a rescue mission goes awry, not only facing off against the armed people who want them dead, but ravenous lions who have escaped confinement. It's terrible. The characters are cardboard cutouts from the good guys to the bad guys. And despite my love for firearms and blood splatters, the action sequences are boring due to subpar direction, and occasionally, the action can be too long. But if there's anything worse than that, it's the horrible CGI on the lions. This is a matter that almost flirts with comedy, not just because of how bad they look, but because there's an end movie message about how lions are legally mistreated and killed in Africa, or something to that effect, which makes me wonder why this movie was about rescuing some random girl as opposed to rescuing lions. If this movie's message is about saving the lions, why are they portrayed like blood-hungry, soulless monsters? The writing is awful, from hilariously painful Backstreet Boys singing to simple, painful moments where one character asks how he knows that the lions are female, responding with, because the females are the true hunters, instead of the more obvious, because they don't have manes. To say this movie is bad would be an understatement. I may have been glad to watch it, as I will support Megan Fox in anything that she does, but this was an hour 45-minute flick that felt like 5 hours. My honest rating for Rogue, a 2 out of 5. Next up, Ava. Ava is a highly skilled government assassin who returns home after 8 years due to a family tragedy and attempts to repair her broken relationships with her sister and mother. However, her failures during a pair of missions has her superiors questioning if she's worth having anymore and decide to get rid of her. Yet another terrible action flick, but the difference here is that it's got a very respectable cast that somewhat elevates it. Jessica Chastain is always great to watch, and her chemistry with Geena Davis alone made it worth watching. But there's no denying that the easiest way to describe this movie is if the Hallmark or Lifetime channel made a gritty action romp. The characters are two-dimensional and wholly melodramatic. The action isn't well directed, despite Chastain and everyone else doing their best to sell every punch and gunshot. When all is said and done, I couldn't help but compare this to Cats. That movie spent its entire runtime introducing characters, whereas this movie spends its entire runtime introducing subplots. From the whole organization she works for turning on her cliche, to making nice with her estranged family, to an ex-boyfriend that she may or may not still have feelings for, to her father figure superior trying to talk down her execution to his own superiors, to the ex-boyfriend having a gambling problem, owing money to a local gang leader that Ava used to work for before she went into the military. Seriously, I've had eggs less scrambled than this. Objectively, it sucks the big one. But again, I'm weirdly okay with it because the acting really powers through the material, and I likely got more out of it than most did. My honest rating for Ava, a 3 out of 5. And last but not least, Tenet. The story follows a spy who finds himself recruited to prevent the end of the world, which is caused in the future. Yes, for the first time since March 13th, I went to a movie theater, and boy howdy, am I wondering if it was worth it. If my summary made you go, "That's it?" it's because I simplified it to a preschool level, because to explain the actual story would be impossible for me. I did not understand this movie in the slightest. Here's a spy. Things and people he encounters that are from the future are inverted, which means everything they do is in reverse. Something about the end of the world. If you were able to discern what the fuck this was and be able to simplify it for those of us lost in translation, then you deserve a fucking trophy. And you know your movie is in a bad state when your own cast doesn't know what the fuck is going on. I have a bad time following spy films even at their most remedial. But this was so self-indulgent and pretentious in its writing, right down to John David Washington's character literally having no name and credited as protagonist, and even refers to himself as the protagonist of the story. I honestly would have preferred to see New Mutants in hindsight. Never in my life did I imagine that I would sit in a Christopher Nolan film and not like it. And maybe this wouldn't be a problem if Nolan wrote characters that I gave a shit about, but even that falls woefully short. Say what you want about the complexity of Interstellar, I at least wanted Matthew McConaughey to get back home to his children. The closest exception to a character that I felt for was Elizabeth Debicki's character, who plays the wife of the villain played by Kenneth Branagh, and is trapped in her marriage with this psycho, and her son is being used as leverage to keep her in her place. Which segues into my only positives of the flick. Debicki and Branagh are very good, seemingly the only characters with, well, character. And of course, the set pieces with time going backwards are a visual marvel. But without a reason to give a shit, it's just fancy visuals for the sake of fancy visuals. Not my cup of tea. Hopefully someone else got more out of it than I did. My honest rating for Tenet, a weak 3 out of 5. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Stay safe and healthy out there. Please wear a mask if you go out. Hope to see you soon.